Dominant from the Swedes as they have a rebuttal in this best of 3. We do get to go all the way, a full 3 maps for us to end our evening here on the A stream, and drama still going down on the B stream. Order had their hopes shattered in a full best of 3 slog rush with so many 1vx's that I actually lost count about the 3-4 mark. We have Chad Birchill and Ian Sniper Turner joining us. Gentlemen, I'm getting it. I'm getting so smooth at this.
Sounds so good when you say it.
It does, doesn't it? It really feels good. It's rolling off the tongue now. Took a while, but we've got it locked in. And it's taken a while, but Fnatic do seem to be locking in this best of 3 after the Dust 2 curveball. That was full control Counter-Strike.
Yeah, you can see what happens when they look comfortable, right?
Right.
And I said it, we say it every time, Crimson Connector.
Crimson
Isn't it just
Connector.
a combo that you love to see? I think, you have to highlight players when they're very proficient in a position like that, and he stands out time and time again. One of the factors going into this, I think you saw, everyone would have seen it when they cut to the player shots, is that frustration on Apex face. He was not having a good game towards the bottom of the scoreboard, and he's normally a pace setter for this team.
Yep.
He was calling when Shox was in the roster on this map, and when I watch him play, he's the kind of player that when he finds space, he's going to get openings time and time again. But it's one of these weird things in Counter-Strike where finding that space, it's like almost an intuitive feeling. It's not necessarily something that you're doing right. It's
because of that, it's hard to replicate. You can't do
exactly.
it time and time again.
But this is my question. There is a correlation between him falling off on this map and the rigidity of a new structure. NBK, of course, changing things up on Mirage. Is there a possibility and is there a likelihood that when integrating a new structure, you do lose some of the fluidity and the freedom that you would otherwise have?
I think so, but there's no... I guess you can have structure and you can have strategies, but you can still have it fast pace.
I mean, look at Astralis.
Yeah, well, that can lend towards Apex strengths, but if you play it super slow and want to, you're going to tell Apex when he has to pick a corner. That's not what you want from that type of entry fragger.
That's right.
That's more what you want from like a Taco who puts his body on the line for the rest of the team.
Okay.
Apex is the guy who, finding the timings, can win you around.
Or even like with Happy in those sort of lurk roles. He doesn't have somebody else telling him when to push or when to do something. It's his own call. So
it's a balance then that has to be struck.
Oh, it's very hard to find that sort of balance because you're literally, if you're going to have someone off doing their own thing and playing off their own intuition, then you need to allow that to happen. You can't really control it.
So it has to be almost a part of your strategy is the freedom given to a player like that.
Yeah, and you say, look, if Apex gets into this position and then he says, let's go, then we go to what Apex has sorted out for us.
Oh, God, it's so difficult, especially when you're trying to change the whole system. I can imagine it's very hard to have that.
But the thing is, that fluidity, it comes into your favor and you end up becoming such a hard team to read. Like a team like North or something that relies on a lot of reads from MSL, like they're just like, oh, what's going on now? This isn't what we usually see. You see the smokes come over B, Apex calls something, bang. It's
normally the fact with a team like G2, especially when they had Shox on the roster, it's about too many cooks, right? You have Kenny S, Shox, and Apex at that point, right? Because you want to give your AWPer freedom to go for the picks when he's confident. You want to give your entry fragger like Apex to find space when he needs to. And Shox is the type of guy that wants to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. Now you've taken him out of the equation. You've added Mixwell in. He has to kind of fill that gap. But I think one of the things was the T side of Fnatic, they were dictating the pace. They were being aggressive on middle. They were finding the jewels. They were forcing the fights. They weren't letting the CTs, they weren't letting G2 get on top of them in that regard.
Do a whole lot.
Exactly.
They weren't letting Apex do anything. And then obviously Mixwell on short couldn't do a whole lot either. So
this is always my question is, when we see AWPers like Kenny S locked out on a CT side, I always wonder, especially on Mirage, is this just the power of a couple of smokes or is there's more going on there?
Yeah, it's smokes, it's teamwork, it's everything, just the power of numbers. An AWPer knows he can't peek straight down the middle of mid and think, I'll kill the guy on the far right, but there's a guy on the far left.
Sure.
And it's just power of numbers. And it's also risk evasion. Like, you don't want to take huge risks as the AWPer because you're Kenny S. You're so important, impactful. You fall back out of that middle area, you go hold ticket booth or something like that.
And
you can have
know
that late round
they're
impact.
cognizant of your relocation as well, and that's welcome to the game of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I just want to point out a 2v1 that JW had where he absolutely booked MBK, right? So he flanked all the way around T-spawn, coming behind. MBK has no idea, standing on the triple box looking the complete wrong way. So props to
they didn't win a round after that.
Yeah, GG.
They just absolutely cooked them. And that's a mind bender, that one.
And that's the ones where you're catching out professional players. You've done something absolutely right. It is some fantastic Counter-Strike being flexed by Fnatic. And we are going to go ahead and have a little bit of fun before we jump into our final map. We're going to be talking all about it. But first, let's go ahead and have some fun with some Aussie slang. I don't really know any. Maybe we'll learn something.
Boys oyster.
That sounds disgusting.
I mean, oyster is from the sea, right? This shellfish thing or not? Or what is oyster?
Okay, Bush is a place where you buy food. So now you can buy Bosch oyster.
Yeah. It could be a person from the outback or something.
It's probably some animal that lives in the bush, yeah.
Another name for a koala bear or a baby kangaroo.
Pretty sure that's a sheep's testicles. I don't think I've ever eaten one.
Liquid laugh.
Are these supposed to be like Aussie terms? Okay, I haven't heard a liquid laugh either.
Maybe you're like drooling all over the place because you think it's so funny.
Liquid laugh has to be like alcohol or something. It's probably beer.
It means you're laughing while you're drunk or what?
Yeah. You're just like really drunk, you're like throwing up and laughing or something.
Pretty sure that's when you throw up in your mouth after a big drink. It goes everywhere.
Brown-eyed mullet. I honestly have no idea.
A guy with a mullet and a brown eye.
Brown-eyed mullet, it's a fish.
A horse?
I think it's a cat.
Maybe koala.
Just an asshole.
I think that's when you take a turd in the ocean and then you swim around it and you see it and it looks like a brown-eyed mullet.
Chuck a brown eye.
Ooh.
Let's say some dessert, some pie. Okay.
Cookie pie?
A cookie pie. A cookie pie.
Oh, surely that just means taking a shit. No, wrong? Not as Aussie as we thought.
I think that's mooning someone, but with your bumhole.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Bushman hanky. What the fuck's a bushman hanky?
You know this one, right?
No.
When you gotta blow your nose, you just have a handkerchief up. That's what I'm guessing it is anyway.
And a bushman is like Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
Wrangles like alligators and stuff.
That'll have to be when you blow your nose with your hand or a leaf.
Yeah.
Well, I think Big Dick Stacey got a lot going on there.
Well, the name alone, he's the most Australian bloke we got on the scene, but the fact he got most of those right. Aaron and Carlo have been living in the US for too long.
Disappointed.
We're going to have to make them resit the test.
I'm
I bet they don't
ashamed.
even know who Sir Donald
Who's
Bradman
Donald
is.
Bradman?
Yeah.
I've never heard of him.
we had our Aussie floor manager just shaking her head. She's just like,
How
oh,
can you not know what a brown eye is if you're Australian? It's so weird.
I don't know. Either way, we do have another map coming up. Overpass is what we're going to be talking about,
Yeah.
gents. I know you're going to be venting your frustrations to the Azza and Ustilo, but what have we got here? We got a little bit of a head-to-head. This is like a little bit of a... It's taking stock in the middle of the series. You are 2 maps into the best of 3, and you can see that JW does seem to be winning this fight, a AWP to AWP to AWP.
Yeah, well, Kenny does have more AWP kills over that of JW. We know that JW isn't the ride or die in the sense that Kenny is, but this is a very important map for the AWP players, right? How much they roam around, different positions that they can have. If an AWPer is proficient over towards that balloons area, they're going to lock down any of the Ts trying to grab control. So watch for Kenny over there, whereas JW is a bit more sporadic in his approach. He likes to use it a bit more combat style, Alex.
I just saw a sniper purchases, only 4 from JW. I guess we don't read into that.
You pick
too
them up
much.
from the other
Yeah.
team, you get them
Just
dropped from your
dropped,
teammates.
something,
It's-
yeah.
But yeah, like Chad said, it's all about that mobility with the AWP and JW's shotgun style. Like, see if he gets down into the undercarriage or underpass.
Excuse me?
That's another part.
Is that another one of the slang?
I got
an
one.
Aussie one.
Here's one. I think that the casters should try and refer to Monster as
The
they're
undercarriage.
No, they're heading through a brown eye when they're going through
Yeah,
Monster.
yeah, it's an Aussie
What was
name
that
for it.
one showing, flashing a brown eye?
Yeah, here we go.
Good grief.
Yeah.
All right, well, I hope our casters don't go flashing any brown eyes. It's G2 versus Fnatic. Overpass, our final match.
Oh, Lord. Jason, this has become
Do you
terrible.
love a good brown eye, Lauren? Listen, that
Jason,
whole
I've never
segment
sworn on
was just
broadcast.
R-rated from start to finish. I thought
I've
we'd
never
continue it
sworn,
here.
Jason. I've never sworn. And
I don't
now
believe
I've
that
got
for a
names
second.
like Big Dick Stacey coming
Yeah,
out.
it's
Brown eyes being flashed around everywhere. I mean, I don't know what to make of this. I'm just, you know, I'm here with my Christian values, Jason.
we've brought this to a whole new level
Thank
here
God
in IEM Sydney.
we are not on YouTube because, you know, the demonetization sign would be all over this. But, all right, we are into the game. We are calming it down, ladies and gents. And so, woo, where did that body just go flying? Fnatic absolutely stomping all over G2. And I just, you know, I'm a little bothered right now. I just need to calm it down.
I want to see that segment again. That was great.
I'm not okay. It's just a lot right now. Regardless, speaking of a lot, good start coming out overall.
Yeah, very well done from Fnatic. Kind of
Oh, this overlay is
from-
making my brain hurt.
Yeah, actually, I thought the same thing.
I was like, how the hell have G2 got this buy? It's like these absolute wizards. What a way to play the economy. Let Grow under pressure, going to be dealing with that well. Good flash comes in. Eventually outdone by Kenny coming in with that CZ, but it will be Flusher on the back lines, laying down a bit of fire. He does receive a fair bit of flack right back to him, but the 4v3. begin to make it just 2 as this retake looks very, very diligent.
Yeah, this is being well handled by Fnatic. One loss at the end, one extra loss. There's an M4 down, but it's going to be 2-0 for Fnatic. As they make things work here, they transition that second round. A good plant, though, from G2 and 2 kills. It's not the worst thing in the world. The plant's going to help kind of mitigate some of those purchases in this round. Kenny was fully invested, so going to be missing that AWP likely in the next round. Depends on if he wants to go for the glass cannon purchase or not, but only Glocks here for G2 this time.
Glocks.
Glocks.
Glocks. It's all gone a bit wrong, hasn't it? I've barely been in the studio and it's all just...
You've had a really tough day. You got
a
nice sleep in until, what, like 2:30?
See, for the caches, you could do great, like, British slang against Australian slang as well. Like, I want to see it, like, really
I did see a really good Reddit comment. It was giving props to the Australian casters on the B stream, and the first comment was, just wish I had an Aussie call-out because it feels like every single part of the map on Inferno is Diggity.
That is true, I do miss Diggity, but right now, it looks like the damage has been done. I was going to try and make some sort of reference to No Diggity, but I'm not that creative. Mixwell receives a fair bit of damage as well, but gun recovered. I mean, if they can make that happen, that'd be great. There's still Deagles up.
Tough part is no armor, so there's no good logical user of that M4, and Crims is just handling business.
Oof. Big Daddy Crims coming through. The word daddy's been used a lot today as well. I think that needs to be put to bed.
It's been thrown around a lot. It's losing a lot of its impact, right?
Exactly. If you say the word enough, it loses its power, right? But at the moment, we still see JW with that
Unless
AWAP.
it's Beetlejuice. Kenny S has got his AWP. It's no armor, as we mentioned. Going to have to be glass cannon. He's got smoke flash, though. Molotovs for the T side as well, and JW likewise has an AWP. So fun to see that duel. And here's the thing: if G2 wants to win this third map, Kenny's had a relatively quiet series. They would love for him to come alive. Yeah. And early on, he's going to eat an 8. And there's the the tough part about having no armor. You eat way more damage than you would perhaps like to.
Yeah, like a body on the other side. Obviously, they might have been at different positions, but still, the damage kind of being spread very differently there. But for now, MBK quite far ahead from the others. Always nice to get a bit of positioning going. Was that team damage? I don't know.
That was indeed team damage.
How do you manage that?
Not a great start to the round for G2.
No. And Flusher doing the old, the lovely weight on the old smoke. Apex on the other side could be in trouble. The spray comes in. I think he's hearing these tags for sure. JW to find Kenny there, and it's a good beginning for Fnatic this round.
And obviously with the op at Sandbags, Mixwell doesn't want to challenge, so just by positioning, Flusha is pretty well covered. But now as his teammate falls back, doesn't want him to risk too much, going to come right through, and Apex has to fall away, and G2, Body's being tagged down to 7, Apex at 17. There's no one really on this G2 side that wants to take a fight anywhere on the map. Look at how far back this defense has forced them. This is magnificent play from Fnatic. Barely taking any damage in return, and G2 has to spend a lot of time circling around, and there's some more tags coming out, and just the posture from Fnatic has pretty much ended this round. No chance of G2 making progress towards the B bomb site. Flusha has basically already won it. He just has to sit here and chill.
This is such assertive play from Fnatic. I love to see it. Mixwell's just don't do it. Just back away. It's done.
You have to save already.
You just need to go. There's no point even getting close to this one. They have so much map control, you have no step anywhere. 10 seconds. They're trying to find some sort of respite, but there it is. Crims gonna put the knife in the back here, not letting anything get away. Oh, Fnatic, this is really nice stuff from them. This is meticulous play.
I don't know if I've seen a more dominant round in a long time. That was...
Name the bully, Jesus.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Well played from Fnatic on the CT side. You're not gonna get that round every day, but obviously handling it so well, and if you're G2, that's going to make you feel really uncomfortable as the first gun round you have on this T side. 0-4, Apex has an AK-47, but no bonus money. That's the only weapon you're able to bring forward.
That sucks.
All right, putting it bluntly, I see.
Look,
doing away with all the subtleties.
There is no subtlety here. Have you just seen what Fnatic are doing? I mean, these guys... Oh, NBK!
That's a bush oyster if I've ever seen one.
What is this? Oh, dear sweet Jesus, save me. What kind of fresh hell am I into today? JW towards Kenny, it's MBK. Still on a tear, and Apex going to put that rifle to work. It's not over yet. This is still G2 wanting back into this, and they've got to be rather ferocious about it. They have to be taking these fights, and MBK is showing them how. Apex, great work forward, better than Lekr on that sort of spot. And now it's just Flusha left in a 1v3, but it is Flusha. And there's always something to be said about this guy. Whether or not he can do something about this, we're yet to see. Now, the bomb is in the hands of MBK, and that's not necessarily going towards A right now. He's taking his time. He can. They've got 50 seconds still on the board, and what a play this could be. Flusha, sadly, with only that SMG to hand, makes it very tricky. Apex going to get caught out, mowed down. That's a big player gone. MBK does have armor, but again, 4 HP.
Flusha wants to go for this, obviously saving the SMG, plenty of money, so he's going to move forward with the AK-47 in hand. He's bypassing Mixwell, doesn't even spot him out, so the flank will be coming in from Mixwell eventually. Flusha obviously not knowing where NBK has gone. 4 HP, NBK's got to play it pretty passively. Flusha praying with that grenade, and it's going to be Mixwell to finish it off. That is a nice recovery after a weak round from G2. And of course, that's the one where they find some success. Apex with 2 big frags with that saved AK-47 and armor with no utility. Back on the board. And Kenny's got the AWP in his hands, but now we're seeing Flusha has the M4. This is pretty much Fnatic being bought down to you know, whatever they have left. Flusha has some money, but everyone else is kind of spent. JW Golden at 0. And this could put G2 right back into equalizing the score early on. Otherwise, Fnatic could start piling it on.
I'm liking this. G2, you know, being pushed to their limits and then going right back into it. Kenny, he's just not getting away with anything right now. He's receiving so much early damage. He's still got the AWP though, so very proficient even with working with less HP. You are a bit of that kind of hitman. You just get the job done and get out of there. Oh, Lekr8 shows him how it's done a little bit better though. That's surprising. Not exactly known to be the straight-up one-to-one AWPer of a Kenny S caliber, but he is showing real potential and power here. That's a 5v3 very early on, and this little bit of a probe that came out from G2 just gets completely denied.
Yeah, and the tough part is when it gets this denied with no real success, no information, and everyone falls, you're not even able to have the kind of the map control. How do you recover? G2 running down on nades as well as player count, 3 on 5. And still pretty aggressive positioning from the Fnatic players over towards the A bomb site. As the smoke clears, Crims kind of backs away and sinks into the bomb site. JW is still here with the AWP, peering out towards highway, now out towards long. He's going to transition back into it. That's a quick shot body, no chance of a response. Spots the other one, and he gets aggressive, and he realizes there's no one coming, and right through the corner of the wall. Both AWPs doing work to close out the round. 2 frags for JW, 2 for Lekr8 with those AWPs, and a Fnatic styling at the moment.
I'm loving this. This is like... Sponsored.
I'm very American.
There's my slang, just the McDonald's song. Oh, God, it's one of those days, isn't it? Woof, Kenny, Apex on the Deagles, the rest on the Glocks. And it's Fnatic with a commanding and dominant performance so far. We haven't really seen the rebuttal come out from G2. We saw that one really nice round where MBK kind of set it alight. And Crims is just being an absolute madman right now. He's a scary player when he starts. It looks like the game just looks easy to him.
I mean, this is kind of the danger is now all of a sudden if you start getting JW and Crims, you're able to find these picks. Yes, it's just against pistols this round, but just the fact that they're establishing the fact that they're willing to be aggressive in bathrooms and out towards party. Find some of those opening kills early on. It's going to really temper G2 moving forward, even when they have the rifles. Good kill from Apex with that Deagle. He's actually found his way into the B bomb site. G2 has to go back to recover the bomb, and he's got another one. Apex doing everything, and I'm curious how this Fnatic defense has been shattered over here. But because of the placement of the bomb so far back, there's no real chance of capitalizing and getting in for a post plant.
Lekr8's a little unsure as to how far forward they've gotten. I'm a bit worried about Mixwell. Actually, no. He's fine. He's good. He was holding that. He just tested the patience of these boys, and Lekr8 might have caught a glimpse of the plant coming down. Mixwell is known to be on short, so he's got a good mental idea where these last 2 players are if he can piece together the information in his head. Waiting for support, of course, in the form of Crims coming over, but smoke goes in towards short. Body prepares himself on the site. Mixwell by the pillar. Lekr8 pushes forward. It's heads rolling on the floor as Mixwell needs to go big, or this round is all Fnatic's. There's not much left for him to do as he does go down. It's Crims with the support coming out. But there was a chance there. Apex really carving a huge amount of space. It's pretty huge in the sense that it takes a lot of economy away, so forces 3 rebuys out of Fnatic, and the extra $800 is going to help them out immensely. Defuse being tapped
down to the end of the bomb timer. A little bit risky, but obviously wanted to give time for Lekro to get back towards that A bomb site to pick up the other AWP. That's going to be a pretty good round for G2 towards that goal of depleting and diminishing the economy of Fnatic so that when they eventually do win a round, they have Fnatic on the ropes. Need some of those easier rounds against pistols to be able to come back into this game. 1-6. G2 not able to find a consistent answer here. The op is back in Kenny. He's 1-7 though. That's not the start you want to see.
No, we were saying that if he could really show a performance here, how integral those orbs can be, that could be a really nice factor for them. That could, you know, really bolster what's been going on. But to be a bit of a read coming out so far from Fnatic, feeling that maybe this is going to be a bit of a B-lean, considering they have a lot of players there, and aggression coming out from Crims being the kind of big information giver and impact player so far. Here's nothing. Mixwell and MBK holding off by the back of the playground. You do have Kenny there lurking his way around too, so a lot of pressure being put towards Crims this time. Not up to task. MBK outdoes him. That's a lot of ground gained and a lot of rotation now being caused. Fnatic do have time, just because we did see Crims so far forward. They can get round towards the A site and still hold it off. No quick hit could come off the back of it, even if G2 did understand there was only one man that far forward.
Look how trusting they are in Golden as well, the only player in that B bomb site. He had a pretty deep angle towards Monster, but he's given it up now. A lot of pressure being applied to A, and G2 is actually rotating in, maneuvering back towards the B bomb site. JW around the edge of the smoke. Good kill from Body. That should solidify these players from Fnatic to stay at the A bomb site. Should keep them here a little bit longer. Flush are going to try for the response. He's able to do it, but can they get back towards B in time? G2 need to hit this now. They've got everything they could possibly want. Golden is still here. Any number of frags he gets would be huge. Molotov going to hold off Sandbags just for now. Eventually he'll have Mixwell pressuring. That's a big opening kill. Still alive and almost finds the follow-up.
The dink was good. He takes Mixwell down so low. The plant is going to be coming through, and Lekro did fall to Kenny S. It's just Flusher left in the 1v3. And I think he is going to be calling this one off. Not much money left in the Fnatic bank, even though they have been quite dominant thus far.
Nice round from G2. Opening kill on Crims, who was aggressive, denying the information towards Fnatic of exactly what's coming and what's happening. Body gets one more as they rotate back towards the B bomb site to really make that fake effective. Flush is going to save the AWP. No one from G2 chasing. They need to build up some bank before they're able to risk the weapons doing that. It's their second round on the board, though. One more round like that, and they'll have broken the economy of Fnatic. And then they can have that easier time, perhaps clawing back against a couple CZs. Not the easiest thing, maybe some USPs.
That'd be nice. Oh,
would be real nice.
See how many people can get a gun out of this one. I think we are going to see a Fnatic decent enough purchase. Yeah, a little light in some aspects, maybe not that full flush utility set that you'd be wanting, but this is the big purchase, this is the big investment, this is, you know, the bank down to zero. Panic at the end of the month that we've all had when you just don't want to check that bank statement. But on G2's side, this could be a really nice launch pad for them to get back into this game. Maybe a quicker play coming out. It looks like Kenny wants to have a little bit of a look down by Monster, which I'm still going to be calling it, you nasty boys. Trying to say it's something else.
Yeah, who would say dirty things like that?
Filthy. Wash your mouth out with some soap. NBK towards the toilet. Smoke goes up, and he's having a wonder. He's getting a lot of room here. Free real estate.
And you love for a player like NBK to be this assertive. If he's going to be given the room, go for something. Try and find something for your team. And JW has no idea it's even possible for him to be there. Lekro with the follow-up with the AWP. 2 rifles at this B bomb site. Not a lot of utility, though. Golden's got to do something here. Flush is not working with him. He's holding off towards Sandbags. Nothing coming in that direction. So it's just Golden. Eventually, he's going to be forced out by the nade, but not committing. He's buying a lot of time, but can't get the results. And there's Flush at a pounce. 2 kills. Not enough, but Crims on the flank. Can he do anything?
He's quite quick on this. I don't know how quickly they're going to expect it, or what the timing internally is for them. They are starting to eye it up, but Kenny having a look, taking a glimpse, and you can see Crims playing this out really nicely. Trying to work the timing. I don't know if he's going to expect Kenny to be walking out as well. No, definitely not. And a swift one to the head. It will be good recovery now. There is certainly a good window of opportunity now for these boys.
Especially considering now they're getting that feel good. You can see everyone cracking a little bit of a smile. I know that's the first obstacle done, is take the double op away, grind down the money, take the utility out of Fnatic's hands, and now you've taken all the rifles away as well. This should be an easier. I don't even think Fnatic can really invest into, you know, light armor and CZs. They're going to go just full save, which you don't see too often these days. That's how good of a job G2 just did. So actually, as I say that, Flush buys the Deagle. Just always got to be the contrarian.
Got to be someone, right? And we'll see how G2 handle this. It should be clean, it should be well controlled. Bodies seem prepared. They are very much aware of what Fnatic seemingly like to get up to. And the only danger man is this guy. Do have USPSs, they can still do work, we've seen it before, but you doubt they're going to win against a full buy if G2 don't make errors. Should get some damage. Molotov goes in, forces Crims back a little further. Flash actually catching them out, that's a problem. Crims playing on the back of that Molotov makes it quite nice. It's very hard to be seen through that completely clearly, but in the meantime Flusher went down, so we're going to be looking at Gold and Lecro to try and maybe do some more damage. Then get a gun back or do some damage. It's always nice to see.
Yeah, just USPs though, it's going to be tough, and Kenny's going to challenge with that up. There's Apex watching for that exact play. So 4-6, G2 keeping it close in the middle portions of this half. And their buy coming out for Fnatic. Flusha is going to be on the UMP. He's got full nades though, which is great. He's got the kit as well, which is equally great. The rest of them are going to be picking up the M4s. As Fnatic trying to get back to the winning ways on this defense, but there's been a lot of money built up for G2 in this small little streak they've just gone on. Mixwell, Apex just below 6,000, Body just below 5,000, and Kenny, you know, well and strong in terms of his wallet, and this is a fast play towards the B-bomb site. Contact through Monster, NBK leading the way, but again, he's flashed. Not sure where that one came from, but it just slows him down just barely, and Golden looks the wrong way. The timing is harsh. Lecro here to again try and hold down the fort, but he's gonna get flanked out at any moment. He does not have long for this round as Apex closes in ever so slowly, and the smoke actually obscures the vision. He finds it anyway.
This is quite interesting though, coming out from Flusher. He was looking for that room, that one little bit of an opportunity he can work through, but it's JW to actually capitalize on that after the softening from the UMP, but NBK lurking in the depths there. Not gonna get anything done. Crims joining up with JW. They fancy a bit of a chance on this one. They're just gonna give it a little bit of a go. No kit though, so again, time limit gonna be in the back of their mind, starting to kick in of how much we can get done. NBK is being the... Look at the HP here, it's so damn low, but it doesn't matter. It's well controlled by G2 in the end. 3 alive, AWP recovered, round on the board.
I don't mind for them going for that necessarily. I mean, you could see how close it was to just getting, even if they had one of those kills, it would have been possible because they knew the kit was on Flusha, which was dropped along that wall. You could even see it there at the end, right out in the open. So as they kind of fought their way into that bomb site, it would have been a casual just step over the kit to pick it up. So, not a terrible decision. It just doesn't pan out for him here. Good entry from NBK coming into that bomb site. Nice double kill from Mixwell to close it out. Back to the pistols we go for Fnatic. Not able to return from that shattered economy. And again, all 5 players for G2, keeping it simple once again, just right through Monster. It's going to be quick. Lecro with the Deagle this time. Golden's got 1. That could be nice. A double for Lecro here would be great, but it's so difficult, but they're grinding him down. Oh, and they're thinning out this attack, and the bomb is on the floor.
This gets me a little nervous. Smoke goes up towards short. They still have flashes, they still have a Molotov or 2. The boost always wanted. No plant on site yet, so Crims can relay some information. He doesn't have the full picture, obviously. He doesn't know if they've pushed up towards water, if they're pushed up towards ABC. Flusher now going to try and keep that puzzle building. That's big from Crims. It's now just down to Apex in the 1v3. It's possible, far more than you'd imagine, but 8 HP isn't much to work with. 1 bullet from any of these guns will do the job. I can imagine Flusher being toyed with, and it's the USPS to come out on top. And Fnatic keep themselves afloat here.
There's always one of those rounds for Fnatic in pretty much every single half. They're going to win a round with CZs and Deagles. This one here, it hurts just a little bit for G2 as they were starting to build into quite a nice bit of momentum and quite a nice run back to the AWP on JW. And with some of those salvaged weapons, I mean, JW is rich all of a sudden, so is Flusha. The rest of the Fnatic team still low. Another buy coming in for G2 though. Up on Kenny. G2's been able to handle some of that aggression towards Party that gave them such a problem in the early stages of this half. They've at least tempered it, and look now, Fnatic not willing to extend too far across the map. The most aggressive player is JW. He's over on the flower pots out towards long with the AWP, or just behind him. And that's about all the progress across the map that they wanted for the early portion of the round. Now just going to slip back into a more passive setup. It's Crim spotting for information towards the top of Danger Stairs. Or just top of the staircase.
Play towards long coming in. No one's actively challenging. Deeper down, you do have JW right down the back by the site. Not pushed up any further. I think Fnatic have been tamed a little. As you said, not many players being aggressive here. Crims, though, might try and find some room to work. We're going to try and get up a little bit closer, but gets damaged through the wall. G2 definitely being very, very meticulous in approach. Smoke's being utilized, but this is still being kind of gathered information-wise by Crims, but when that happens, you start to worry because B becomes vulnerable, and it's only Flusher there on his own pretty much right now. Sport's not there just yet, and the bomb is working its way towards B. Up Monster it goes, and Flusher backs away down towards ABC, and we wait for it. Smoke goes towards the site. It's a very close play, and Kenny to deliver towards JW. The spray through the smoke keeps Flusher humbled as he tries to play forward. This could be a little scary. No, Mixwell, the bigger monster in the smoke, comes out on top, sprays in again. Golden in trouble, goes down, and we're down to just Crims.
This is probably the most passive I've seen a Fnatic defense in a long time, and especially when you consider Overpass as a map in general, probably the least aggression I've ever seen towards that staircase and towards Underpass. And the fact that G2's been able to control that part of the map essentially for free in the past 5 or 6 rounds, it has been huge for them because they're doing a very good job of using a lot of utility and pressuring towards that A bomb site, forcing the third player to rotate and commit to that site, and having essentially a 4 or 5-on-2 over at B. Finding a lot of success just with a very basic, you know, switch up of their bomb site approach. Putting Fnatic on the back foot. They've never really been able to read exactly where that hit is going to come. Now fully invested into this Fnatic. I mean, this is a very, very beat up buy. JW, AWP, no armor. UMP on Flusha, just pistols on the other 3. So another big advantage for G2. And they're making a great call. 3 players assertively taking control of the A pathway towards, or the long pathway towards A. And there's no one here to challenge. And even if there was, I mean, chances are it's just going to be a pistol or a UMP. Not that great at this range.
Well, the thing that will challenge eventually will be that AWP with JW. Crims could find good positioning if the timing is right, and JW strikes first, and he strikes hard. It's Mixwell gone down. Bomb is spotted. The response will be made, and you can see that CZ still lurking around. But he might have heard something. He might be just aware that's a possibility, but he turns his back at the wrong time, and you do not do that to a predator like Crims. Kenny does finally find Flusher, but there's still potential everywhere else. Apex plucks Lecro from the sky, but while this happens, the bomb's gone loose, and Crims is still being such a nuisance. It's JW now up against Apex in the 1v1. It's not what you expected to see this round, and JW's feeling it. He's going for a little bit of a look. He's going for a linger, but Apex spots him out first. But this is not done just yet. JW backs away. He changes the pace. He changes the angle. And Apex is about to get decapitated. There it is. Fnatic with a lovely way to play that one out in the end.
That's a beautiful crossfire setup between JW and Crims. I'm not sure how it was that effective. It bought a lot of time as well. Once Crims gets that first kill, not overextending, just surviving and keeping it a 2-front battle. That's also, I mean, towards the end of that, in the 1-on-1, tough to criticize in 1v1s. So that's an aggressive plant spot for Apex out in the open in that fashion. And an easy kill for JW as he rotates to bank. Still not a great buy for Fnatic, even out of a win.
No. Where's Lecro taking that anyway? Where's he off to? Anywhere special? Just probably a monster maybe, or barrels? Yeah. Fair enough, nothing too much to write home about, but Crims could be fun here. Finally seeing them actually playing towards Underpass.
Yes. It'll be interesting to see if he can make it work. No utility left on him, and if he sticks around for too long, I think he's kind of missed the timing and he knows it. Now he's just kind of got to fight to the death, as this is kind of that point where without backup for Crims, he knows they can kind of be behind him. And there's the first kill through the smoke. A second. This cannot be allowed. This cannot happen if you're G2. Kenny finally shuts him down, but damage is done, and he's waiting for the response. He had the idea. Doesn't pull the trigger quick enough.
Here's Flusher, just peeks through the door, gets the kill.
That's just like a horror movie,
it
isn't
really
it?
is. Like, he's already
Straight out of The
preemptively
Shining.
watching it. Yeah. 3v2, NBK and Apex are just probably scratching their heads going, all right, screw this. JW's in toilets as well, cutting them in half, going to deny that easy play up. I think Apex is aware there's a possibility players could be, around the, flanking around or, applying pressure elsewhere. NBK taking the route of safety so far. Doesn't get an audio cue or anything of the such for JW, who might feel out the timing here, possibly might have just missed it. Does seem as though he has, so NBK does get to join his teammate. Clear out the site.
Well, I think JW has just kind of outplayed him, as he's been known to do in the past. Great find onto NBK, and it's just almost nearly impossible to be able to clear out all those angles and make that passageway take that long and not get flanked out. Lecro out in the open is going to win the duel against Apex, and that's going to close the half. So 6 rounds for G2. Fnatic going to be up towards 9, obviously. Quite a solid defense, but it was scrappy. G2 was able to claw back into this one. It was looking pretty dire. Once again, we said that on the previous map as well. Either way, nice half for both teams. We're going to go to a break, and we'll get the conclusion of this series when we return.
And we are back. Bear in mind, this is the final half of the final map, unless we get the bonus rounds. But this has been a very scrappy game thus far. Both teams putting up a good performance, no one letting it spiral away too much. Dust 2 was a great starter. We saw Mirage being a little bit of a back and forth, but going the way we expected. But Overpass has turned into quite the map.
I mean, the real success came when G2 was eventually able to stop that kind of pressure and aggression that Crims and JW were applying towards Bathroom. Crims being especially aggressive in Picnic and Party and out towards the Fountain area. Once they kind of shut that down, G2 was able to have free reign of the map. They did a very good job of rotating between the bomb sites, applying pressure, performing a feint towards one of the bomb sites and hitting the other. Fnatic couldn't really get the read, so that ironclad grip they had early on slips away. MBK goes for some information. This is great damage from the CT side. Mixwell, I think, probably tagging up. Maybe they were lined up, and Mixwell tags up body to help out Lekro.
Cool.
Yes.
Yes. Good start. And we see Fnatic doing the old underpass play. Going to get some presence there. A couple of players working their way up. Monster as well. That's Apex. And Kenny getting the job done. Now, 3v3 is looking a little bit worse for wear now. Fnatic have no utility, but they certainly have a bit of pace to them. They're off towards 8, off to the races, but there is someone waiting. That's MBK with the angle. Needs that shot to hit real clean, and it does, and that's a problem. Kenny shows him how it's done, leaving Crims in the 1v2. 56 seconds on the board, so he has opportunity to maybe go elsewhere, but the angles they're working with right now, he's going to find this very tough.
And he's heard them kind of take steps towards the truck, so he's being passive at the moment. Plenty of time for Crims to make this work. Would love to have a USP. That's an awkward timing for the peek from Mixwell. Crims is going to be frustrated with that one, but still being able to isolate these battles and backing away for the reload. And now he gets to toy with them. We'll see what Crims has in the mind game department, and it looks like he's just going to book it over towards that B bomb site. Tough part is even if he gets in here and gets the plant, there's nowhere for him to really go after getting the bomb down. Kenny can lock him into the site and wait for the reinforcements from Mixwell, and now Crims just has to commit and go for it.
The Glocks aren't meant to do this at this range, Crims. You know you're in trouble. He's going to try and get the bomb down. And Mixwell wants to come in on it, and he is there. Not going to get away with too much. A bomb plant isn't the worst thing in the world to be walking away with. Obviously, you want the round win, but everything considered, you left in that sort of situation. Kenny S was such a redeeming factor there for G2.
Kenny did, I mean, G2 in general, Mixwell and Kenny together did a great job in that 2v1 of just making sure that the best that Crims could have gotten is that plan, and gave themselves every single advantage, not over-committing when Crims had the ideal fight in his scenario. So you imagine some investment in pistols for Fnatic this round, not too much in armor and utility, and they're going to be saving up for the AK-47s into the next round. Flush has been quiet, 8 kills for him, Golden at 9. But Fnatic still in the lead, 9-7. And it's all rifles for G2, so any kills that Fnatic get is going to be great, because this is an expensive second round. G2 obviously knowing with that plant, the next round coming up is AKs, and they want to be well-suited for any battle they could get in. NBK is being pretty bold. He's going to be trapped no matter where he goes, and he's got to fight his way out. JW waiting for this play, and now he's got Golden with him at range, and this can really screw with NBK. He's out in the open, nowhere to go, nowhere to fall back to, and he's taken down. He is swarmed. Mistake from the G2 captain, and Kenny S steps up to the plate next. A good headshot onto Golden, and JW, he's just buying time for his teammates to come in. Good damage done. Fnatic able to find some kills, but the superior weaponry just doing too much. But 2 frags for Fnatic is great in this round, considering what they've brought into it.
Yeah, very little P250s left up on these guys. Bomb is definitely in the clutches of Apex, who's still being called out a little bit here, being toyed with up on long. It's just not working out well for the G2 boys. Might need to abscond, but no, Apex Arjun in charge of that one. And gotta say, considering NBK had a very big start to this game, there was a good couple of kills, you know, did really well. He's really kind of fallen on hard times, and you can say the same for Body. They're really not having the individual impact that you'd want.
It's actually, and I didn't even realize the scores were that kind of low on the scoreboard. It's actually a little bit frightening to look at, a little bit impressive that G2 is able to keep it this close. Obviously a huge game so far from Kenny and Apex, and Mixwell not doing too shabby himself. 5 AKs on the board for Fnatic, an early third round buy. They've got the nades as well, and NBK, because of that purchase, he's going to stay down at the Deagle, trusting his other teammates to do a lot of the damage, and he's playing the long game with his economy. And Fnatic obviously just going to jump right through this smoke, no flashbangs needed. Look at Crims, he's outplayed NBK in a big, big way.
He hasn't seen him because the gun,
my God.
The gun was exactly in the way. There's nothing you can do about it. Flusher, I don't know if it just showed on the radar quite possibly, so he came down like, hey, there's someone next to you? You good? But still, CG_drawgun0 is what you're hoping for at that point. Flashes are coming in. We do have Apex played up on long. I don't know when that gun barrel is going to show. He's going to give away the game there. Good for 2, but no more to be seen. Does play in for Body with 1. It's a 1v2. Mixwell, you better be up to task on this. This could be a nice little nade. Crims obviously a little worse for wear, but he is supported by JW.
Is that designed to wait for the plant sound and bounce it off the front of the truck into the default plant spot? I don't know.
We're going to find out.
No, they actually obviously knows where the plant is. That's a great bounce. He gets a fortunate bounce right off the truck. And now a one-on-one JW. He's going to have to toy with Mixwell here. There's the smoke down.
Ooh.
It's not the best smoke in the world, but Mixwell doing some damage and still not able to find the fight he wants. JW going to test his nerve.
No kit on Mixwell. Time is ticking. JW sits in the smoke and waits. He'll hear these steps, and he has just been outdone. Mixwell, I'm so sorry. It's cruelty at its finest. JW toying with his food in the end.
Why is it always JW? Why is he such a dick? I can't believe he just played that one-on-one in that fashion. It's unbelievable.
He's a filthy boy. Right? He does dirty things to these poor, poor, innocent G2 players.
Oh, it's unreal. 10-8. Good win for Fnatic. This is where you're going to see some of that money management from NBK, just with the Deagle in the previous round, so he can afford a Fama, so G2 is able to buy back into this. Not a lot of utility. 1 kit onto Mixwell. Lecro with the UMP being the aggressor, clearing out this portion of the map, and Fnatic's done a great job in these these first 2 rounds of getting some pretty fast map control. Obviously, last round was through the smoke on the steps by Fountain and into Bathroom very, very quickly to establish that control. This time it's Lekro with map control for his teammates in the first 20 seconds.
See where Fnatic end up. Of course, looking like a heavy lean towards B, but G2 have a lot of players there. Here comes the smoke towards upper. It's going to go in, but Golden delivers. That's big. Mixwell put to the test again, and Golden is the man at the forefront this time. Lekro spotted a good amount of players. I don't know if they're going to expect the second. No, they don't. He only saw one and made that call, so once that kill came in, Kenny S was able to get away with a little bit of murder there, but Flusher so hyper aware of this. MBK does at least catch out one, but I mean, that's job done here. Very, very comprehensive hit from Fnatic. Very powerful, very quick, and it's pretty much round on the board.
Yeah, very convincing on this T side as well, and they've shattered the money for G2, and even there's even a hunt underway. Flusha, he is relentless, and NBK takes a detour in towards the bathrooms, and that might be saving his life. Maybe not, though. Flusha coming behind him still. The Terminator, just that slow walk. Michael Myers, and oh, the spin. I just named out every villain that's ever just had a slow walk towards their victim. Well, just 2 of them.
It always creeps me out in like horror films when they do like the weird like crawly stuff. Like it's like a human creature, but it like runs like a spider or something. Okay. Like it freaks me out. Like when they run on the ceilings and stuff, they're like scurry. You know, that to me is the most horrific thing.
Do you have an example?
I'm trying to think of the film.
Exorcism of Emily Rose?
They're like that. Like when like her legs. Oh, it needs stop. Stop.
Well, I know.
Get help. So just a quick little update as well, in case you are curious, Greyhound against FaZe is going on as well. Bear in mind, Greyhound are actually leading against FaZe here. And,
I love it. Why not? At this point.
The big dick Stacy himself is towards the top of that scoreboard. I just don't want any excuse to say that name. I'm surprised they haven't let me cast that matchup. I'm not sure why. But Mixwell going to be not outdone, actually. I'd be pretty annoyed if I was like Crow.
It's a solid USP. We've seen it do some work. And actually, I mean, the entire goal of this is just to whittle down the forces enough for NBK to get involved with the AK-47. He saved, but it's not going to happen the way they would have liked. Apex just going to bail out. Only 2 members fall for Fnatic. They're going to be up towards 12. This next buy is so important for G2. It's really going to force their hand. If they're not able to win it, it kind of forces the decision for G2 into a couple more of buys, probably before they're too comfortable with it for the rest of this half. And obviously, at this stage in the game, that can be deadly.
Absolutely can. And we've seen that being a bit of a trend throughout IEM Sydney thus far in these group stages and going forward, is that any opportunity given over can just spiral so quickly out of control. So many underdogs having some great impact throughout this tournament already. This game, I guess you'd say, is far more equal in caliber of team. I'd say go towards Fnatic as of late. G2 is still a bit of an unknown quantity, but still a good matchup overall.
Yeah, that peak that Fnatic have, we have to remember they're kind of the, I guess obviously not IEM Sydney reigning champions. That's SK who's now gone, but certainly I guess the defending IEM in general champions, as they took Katowice just a month back or so, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. Time holds no meaning for me. And that kind of that event, and then the follow-up at WSG, the trophy there, kind of would swing the edge towards them. Taking a timeout to make sure they have the game plan well situated, well figured out, to make sure there's no confusion going forward. Obviously, understanding the importance of this round in the overall context of this match. If they can shatter G2 here, they might just give themselves the series victory and a spot at the Intel Extreme Masters playoffs. Qudos Bank Arena.
Oh, here we go. This is the big one. This is the one you want, and that's an absolute truckload of damage coming towards Lekro, who's been a pretty big player so far. Crim's looking like he wants to try and sneak up on this too. Bit of a response coming out very early on. Mixwell and Apex taking it right back.
Yeah, about a half second away from finding that perfect timing. Lekro is just getting battered through the wall, nades over the top. He's not loving life at the moment. 29 HP for him, and body actually. He gets hurt as well. Perhaps trying to peek and spray through a smoke. It always feels like a good idea, but not when you get beat up down to 17. Fnatic still not committed anywhere across the map. On the other side, it's JW and Golden working together out towards long A to kind of start to make progress. Can use some smokes, apply some pressure into the bomb site. Flusha, of course, gonna challenge, and he's gonna pay for his insolence. Apex with the peek.
But this isn't the game plan. Like, look where that bomb is. Look where these players are going. It's going to be read now by G2 because there's no follow-up, there's no response, there's no sounds being made by B. NBK in a very far forward position here can be an absolute linchpin, and he might just be exactly that. The follow-up is perfect. NBK killing down Lekro, and it's Apex up to task, and Kenny has to seal the deal. It's G2 coming back into it exactly when they needed it as well.
That didn't feel very convincing for Fnatic out of that timeout. A little bit disjointed, a lot of kind of individual battles. Flusha takes the first one all on his own towards Monster, trying to find a timing for a duel. Crims as well tries to find his fight up towards Sandbags, not able to have any success with those, and falling back, they've just allowed a whole lot of time for G2, for NBK, to get into a nice off angle for a double kill as they try and rotate back. Even if that hit from JW and Golden towards long has success, the bomb is just so far away and cut off by NBK. So another timeout, as it's Fnatic now on the verge of losing their money advantage. And hopefully we see something a little bit more convincing, a little bit more organized from them this time.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it kind of went that way, if I'm honest, but still, good time for them to discuss things through. It looks relatively quiet. It's funny, when we all do these, talk about these tactical timeouts, it's very, you rarely see people talking, but Golden is having a chat. It's just the monitor is right over his face. But he is the one talking here. And again, the story behind him, I think, has been not necessarily underplayed, but I think it's still a great one to look at, is what he's been able to do with this lineup. You know, obviously Fnatic shying away for some time.
It was such a cool story when they had their kind of build up and we started really being interested in how Fnatic was playing again, started to really see some cool stuff out of them. And then it just like leaves you with that sour taste in your mouth after the whole controversy of, you know, the reports coming out that they wanted to replace him, and then the success at Katowice, obviously, you know, in WSG after that, obviously forced them to keep him on the roster.
Very curious.
So just kind of makes you feel uncomfortable.
I always do. Body posted up. Just going to wait this one out. I like the way that position's kind of changed now as well. It used to be in the corner. I don't know if you can do that one anymore. I don't know if it's just because it's just purely changed, or if it's just a better angle for him. CZ's armor, a couple of Molotovs and a smoke. It does look like a B hit's coming through. That looks very patented. Obviously, the barrel is going to be one. There's the smoke going up as well. We've seen this all before. Mixwell is ready and raring to go. It is going to be two. Is it going to be a third? No. Body going to be able to stem the bleed towards Monster, as Apex should not die to a CZ like that. But still, they are alive. Justin, oh, that's a shot. Flusha takes down Kenny. It is a 1v1. NBK is sitting pretty, though. Full HP, rifle in hand. Flusha, oh, the timing. He walks right through it. That is filth, NBK.
NBK gives him the JW treatment, just the least expected play coming out. Flush is already pulling the bomb out to go for the plant. It was well orchestrated. And NBK just trumps it with the play through the Molotov. Nice initial hold from G2, but it does kind of collapse eventually. Couple nice frags coming out. But Fnatic doing damage. Look at the money behind this. NBK's the only one with cash on G2. The only one with a kit as well. This game is on a knife's edge as we go into round 23.
Scoreline-wise, though, looking pretty good in comparison to what I expected. I thought it would be a little bit more dominant for Fnatic, but actually, G2 have really bolstered up here.
These are the fights that are very curious to watch. Lekro just going for a straight 50-50 battle, loses out towards that B bomb site. And on such an important round in terms of your economy down the stretch, it's a big risk to take. NBK, he's going to take an equal one, and he might just give it up, but no, they line up. Golden can't even respond. JW's in front of him. He couldn't even pull the trigger for fear of taking out his teammate. And that is a brilliant find, building upon the disaster that is this round for Fnatic.
Where's this confident team gone? Where's the team that had that synergy and that brilliance kind of vanished off to? Fnatic looked like they had it all together. It looked like a matter of time, and then they got broken down. G2 have been quite commanding and domineering at this point.
It almost feels like they took the wind out of themselves, or wind out of the sails themselves, as they called those timeouts. The two timeouts pretty much in back-to-back rounds, and then they've kind of lost themselves in that as they were building up into a streak. I don't even necessarily fault them for the timeouts, considering how important those rounds were at the time. But obviously, you know, we do love hindsight, and could be a mistake. It's going to be G2 getting up to 11, and there's no more cash for Fnatic. They're out of it, so Pistol's going to be coming out, and any kill any kills that Flusha gets is huge. If he can limit the money, if he can limit the build-up, they'll still have a chance moving forward. You don't want to get into a situation where G2 has 2 or 3 buys in a row that you'll have to fight through. And Kenny missing some shots down the stretch, and not that one.
No, that one he's good for. It felt like a matter of time, though. You had players closing in just about everywhere. 12 to 11. And there goes the money, pretty much. Fnatic down to 2.4k, and really for G2, this is a very nice turn of events. They've looked solid, if I'm honest. And it hasn't just been, the Kenny S show or anyone else like that. It's just been a decent all-around performance. Those initial kills have been seemingly going their way, whether it be someone like Lekro walking a little bit curiously towards the sides every now and then, getting caught out. Obviously, he got tagged in the one before that, down to 20, 30 HP very early on. So, I mean, frustrating, I can imagine. A couple of pistols upgraded, but beyond that, very little invested here.
Conservation is the name of the game for Fnatic in this round. Only one Deagle, that's on Lekro, and of course he's going to deliver, and why not? Couldn't find the fights that he wanted with the AK-47, but with the Deagle, he's good for 1 to start. On Mirage, he was even able to build into it even more, able to get a double kill. I think that really opened up the map for Fnatic, so got to be feeling uncomfortable if you're G2 at this point. Once that first Deagle frag rings out, it's just, oh no, not again.
Not quite the feeling you're after. And here comes everyone kind of rallying back round towards B. We still have Apex on this time. We still have Mixwell here too. Now the timing on this could be interesting. Probably going to spur on the hit. Lekro again. What an incredible player this man is. 3 kills now. He found Mixwell too. And is he good for any more? He's still full HP, bear in mind. He's got the angle, MBK. I'd be careful. I wouldn't walk around there. Molotov or not this time, it doesn't seem to matter. Lekro is good for it. That's a 4th. And now one more would just be the icing on the cake for this man. He's done more than enough. What a performance this round from him.
If you're Kenny, just bail out. Just run. It's not about the ace. It's about keeping that off in your hands. And Lekro, he wants it so bad. He can taste it. He's going to try and hunt down that AWP. This time it is about the ace for Lekro. It's about that pride. And Kenny is just hiding and cowering in the corner of this bomb site. Is he going to give it up right at the end? Bomb is about to explode, and Kenny trying to come from behind and just keep himself alive, not even going for the frag, and that's a good job positioning for Kenny, but an even better round from Lekro, and this roller coaster of Deagle rounds single-handedly wins it for Fnatic.
Quite nice. Ugh. There he is, 1. That was sexy. That was sexy. There's a couple of websites you could probably upload this to.
Bloody hell.
I mean, like YouTube, jeez. What's wrong with you?
Well, there we go. Timeout call, this time from G2.
Yeah. Must be nice for Fnatic to have players like that. Again, right?
Yeah, it has been a luxury that they've had pretty much throughout the entirety of their careers, is just players that can create something from nothing. And obviously, Lekro's really he's made a name for himself a long time back with that Deagle. And obviously, you're just getting a refresher course of why, as we've seen a couple of them throughout this series that have been phenomenal. And that one is probably the most timely of them all. Just when Fnatic is starting to get their backs against the wall, he pulls them away. Puts them in a comfortable position. And look at the turnaround in terms of purchases for both of these teams. I think NBK actually dropped an op over to Kenny, give himself an element of danger. And obviously, if you're going to have someone who wants to do everything, you want to do everything for you in a round, it's going to be Kenny. That smoke going to delay things as well. Good opening pick. And obviously next round, because NBK dropped us, if they don't win it, he'll be back on a pistol again, but Kenny will still be able to afford that op.
JW there. Maybe feeling a little worse for wear after his teammates already been culled by Kenny. 13 to 11. NBK. Seeing the flames being put down near him, but he's fine for now. He can be a real nuisance as well if he gets the timing right, but Fnatic, of course, still have the huge advantage of all that weaponry, but again, they gotta hit the brakes here, and here comes that timing. We'll see if it works out well for him. Golden seems to check on it, but the CZ's just damn too good. Now that's a problem. You're down to 3 now.
And you've also now got a situation you can see, I believe that's Crims who's going back to check on the flank. You also never know when that's going to pounce, how close he is to actually coming behind you. It shrinks the map. And look at the rotation from G2. They can start stacking up here. The bait and switch, but the Molotov is going to bust that up real nice, but Body still gets a kill. And Kenny S alive in the bomb site with the AWP, opens and closes. G2 have some magic of their own to keep themselves in this, and down the stretch, we've got a close one, Lauren.
Here we go. Apex is getting fired up. If you just saw that, that guy is starting to feel out this game. They want this one. Again, they were never meant to be here. This was not their tournament. They came in very last minute. They're playing this just as they go. And I remember seeing on Twitter the coach coming in saying, you know, this event is exactly what you make of it. Just do whatever you fancy with it. You know, it's yours to try and push as far forward. You know, this is almost one on the door, right? This is just a kind of freebie almost. It's like you guys just come in here and do the dirty to them.
And this is now so intense for both of these teams. We're getting a lot of these timeouts down the stretch, and you can just tell if you're just tuning in, if you weren't here for the beginning of the day, this match means a lot. This means a spot on the stage inside of the arena, a spot in the playoffs for IEM. And both of these teams, you have to remember, have one win in the Intel Grand Slam for that $1 million as well. So would love another chance to build upon that.
That is true. I forget that both these teams actually have that on the board.
G2 got the first one from DreamHack Malmo, DreamHack Masters Malmo earlier this year, and then obviously Fnatic just winning IEM Katowice.
Well, 13-12. This game is indeed heating up. Sydney, the crowd beckons for one of these two teams here. Secure your spot. And this is the smoke that we've been seeing generally when it signifies that quicker hit coming through towards B. And we might just see that again set into play already. The Molotovs start to burn. Body puts out one, but he's not put out the entire fire that's coming his way. The rest of Fnatic are creeping closer, but a good angle on the edge of that smoke. Apex has found Lekro, but the shutdown comes out from Body. Finally put to bed by Flusher, but he's not going to get away with much more. He takes down Kenny, but look at this position. MBK lurks his way around the back, but somehow Golden snaps it. Now 2 AWPs left alive here. Golden could still do something with this, but that smoke is really keeping him in this one, and that is brazen. But it does give him a chance to back away and try and find a spot to play this out from.
Yeah, the HP doesn't really matter against the double ops, does it? And if you're Mixwell or Kenny, maybe you want to transition as you start to make this retake happen, especially Mixwell with full HP, transition into an M4, an AK, anything you can see on the ground. As they start moving up, that's going to be a smoke over towards Sandbags, and that is going to cause that sinking feeling in your stomach if you're Golden. Pressure is on, he's got to spam through it. They tap the bomb, he gives away his position, but he has to respect it. Not connecting, not even close, in fact, and there's the pistol spamming through, and he's not far enough to the left. The smoke really throwing Golden off of his lineup. And G2 win another. Laughter as well coming out to break the tension.
Body here. It's a nice little play on the edge of that smoke. Very nice.
Ooh. That's a reaction and a half. From that to laughing.
Interesting, this team, isn't it? All the French drama, right? Like, you look at the whole scene that happened around this and finding the right composition of players. And the tactical pause arrives again. Tense moments between these guys.
I mean, both of them are just, both of these teams, you can understand why as well, because both of these teams really have had to scrounge together full buys with which to fight down the stretch of this game. So it's like every single time they're like, all right, who's dropping what? Who's got what weapon? Where are you going to be positioned with the CZ? How are you going to be able to help me out? You know, who's going to be the aggressor? Who's going to push and try and get a flank? And we're starting to see these flanks come in. I mean, NBK's had a couple good ones down the stretch. 13-13. Let's see if Fnatic, there's that Deagle on Lekro again.
Oh, Lord.
Surely not twice, Lauren. Double up setup as well for G2, so I don't think we're going to see too many smokes in these choke points. I think they're going to want to fight at range with these ops. You can see Mixwell with an angle on Sandbags down towards short, and the other one is on Kenny.
That nade!
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh my Lord, Mixwell's going to be overrun. This gets scary though. Those pistols are really being brought to bear, but the control from G2, the composure is perfect, and G2 get one step closer now. And that was a big round and a scary one at that. You don't want those pistols that close to your face when you've got an AWP.
Yeah, that nade almost didn't, the nade damage almost didn't really matter as it was 2 ops there, but there was plenty of rifles as well for G2, and they hold their composure. Both ops actually missed their initial shot, which in a hit like that usually signifies, you know, you're going to lose at least 2 to 3 players. That time, though, G2 managed it very well. The M4 is coming to the rescue right at the proper moment. 1 round lead for G2, 14-13 down the stretch here. Fnatic need a response, and they need it now.
Known for this in the past, Fnatic, you could never count them out.
Keep in mind, I think one of the few rounds they've won recently has been that 4-kill round from Lekro starting with
Correct.
the Deagle. I don't think they've done a whole lot of work on their gun rounds recently.
No, they've been outdone, and this is a different look from G2 as well. Plenty of pressure towards that underpass position, 3 players present, but Golden with a good spot. Does he expect more? I don't think so, but actually maybe he does. Swings back around. Golden, good for 2. The third might just slip away from him. Mixwell is backing the hell up. and trying to readjust. This looks like a Fnatic round already. The new try from G2 just did not work out. A 4v2 already.
Yeah, big impact from the Fnatic in-game leader. Golden answering the call with a double kill. And look at how far back G2 has to play this. They have to rely on this op. If you're Mixwell now, you have money in the bank for G2. You have plenty to sustain a loss. So it's not even a bad idea if you're Mixwell to try and make something happen. Some aggression, and he's going to jump back to the smoke. JW spots him, and that ends it. NBK can't do anything in a 1-on-4. Mixwell missing his opportunity, and it's going to be all tied up at 14.
Jason.
Yes.
Is it bonus rounds o'clock soon?
It could be.
It could be. There's a real chance for bonus rounds. I'm fine with this. I slept really well. How did you sleep?
Not great.
Oh. All right. I'll pick up the pace. Oof. But yeah, this is looking quite fun. As you said, Fnatic weren't infallible throughout this matchup, at least on this half. They'd been kind of pushed around by G2. NBK desperately trying to stay alive here. Lekr didn't actually catch any part of that flash, so he will be taken out. Now, money-wise, there is still plenty available for G2. This is why bonus rounds start to become that factor, right?
I think the wild thing is for G2, out of that timeout again, I mean, it's that whole, we go back to the old adage, don't fix what isn't broken. And that time, G2 changing up massively in their defensive setup. 3 players down those stairs in towards the underpass, and just not able to find that initial success with that kind of a play, and then just trapped. And a really nice double kill from Golden. Krim's holding the other side, making sure they stay and they remain trapped on those stairs. And I believe we got another timeout. I think this is the last one from
Like, how
G2.
many do they have?
I know, right?
This has been insane. But let's have a little quick check-in on the Greyhound phase game while this quickly unravels. I want to just get an update on that scoreline. At the moment, where are we up to? We have one of the analysis in here. I could just bring him in. I'm like, hey, buddy, how's it going? Do you want to just like talk to me? What? Greyhounds are on match point? Are you kidding?
Ooh.
Oh, Lord above.
You do love to see that. Maybe. I don't know. Listen, Lauren, let's focus on one potential match point at a time.
15-14. My Lord, ladies and gents. We have, what a good set of games we're getting here. Like, I mean, this has been really good for a group stage. Normally it's like, nah, group stage is one of those, but this has been real damn good. Now, let's see what we have coming out from G2 this time, and Fnatic, of course. 14-14, knife's edge sort of round here. Big stack towards B from G2. 4 players over here. And we have one man, NBK, soloing out by A for now.
Pretty tense situation. Heavy stacks for G2. A couple times towards that B bomb site, and that's what kind of secured their round. The double op that they had to go up against CZs that was almost disaster. Partially bailed out by an early round stack of 4 players here. They do it again, and it's quickly transitioned out of. It's going to be Body and Mixwell remaining at the B bomb site. Smokes on each player and a Molotov on Mixwell, so plenty of delay tactics if they feel too much pressure. Fnatic's not applying a whole lot, which is kind of surprising. That's a change for this T side, and NBK, he's going to be tested here. He's stuck between 2, he finds Golden, but a wild spray, can't control it. The nerves strike, and so does Golden.
Yeah, that really got away from him. We've got 40 seconds left in this round. You can see FaZe quite stoic in approach. That's going to be the gift there. JW doesn't miss those. Gifted the chance now. The springboard towards B could happen. 2 players quickly respond back, however. We do have Mixwell coming back through, and Apex isn't far off. So again, this isn't a free gift of a site. That's good work from JW, though. When it matters, he seems to deliver, and now it's Apex trying to keep this one together, but it's just slipping through his fingertips. JW, again, the headliner of this round, with 15 seconds, bombs to be planted, and Kenny, I wouldn't be challenging JW right now. He's on it. He's feeling hot about this, and oh, he's coming in for the knife!
No way!
Absolute filth from JW. Just the one-man band completely destroys anything that G2 are building. Any confidence they might have had has just been shattered.
Yeah, some liquid laughter as well from him right at the end as he gets that shank in.
Why have we taught you these phrases?
I don't know, it's all downhill from here. This is...
I didn't know it could go any lower. I thought we were honestly at the bottom, but there we go.
Unbelievable to go for that at 14-14. I mean, you are, and I think that was, what, a 4-on-1 scenario, 5-on-1 scenario, so you're not risking a whole lot, but I feel like JW at this point, it's not even about just getting the kill and winning the rounds. He wants to embarrass. He wants to do that that mental warfare as well.
Well,
really delights in shaming the opponents. Yeah, Greyhound takes that first map of the series.
Yeah, so what's the next one coming up? So that is Greyhound's choice. They did pick Mirage. And then there's Cash coming up next, which is obviously FaZe's choice. Or should I say Cache, as we are, obviously,
You
in
could.
the colonies.
You don't have to, but
No, I
you
like to help them out. You know, I like to be part of them. You know, and pretend that we didn't just ship them off here. You know, keeps them at rest. 15-14.
Nice little dig right at the end.
Of course, it's all I have because they can't make any sort of response. It's the only way to go forward. But the thing is here, now Fnatic do have the good purchase. They have the good purchase throughout. They have the utility, they have the weaponry. However, G2 have a knack for being a real nuisance. 3-man stack towards B.
This is a bold call. 4 players essentially. I mean, one is an NBK behind that smoke in the staircase, the triple stack here, and 1 player in B. No one really with knowledge towards that A bomb, so you can see Kenny rotating back with the AWP to shore that up, but this is a big investment of time, of manpower, of every resource available to G2.
My hands are a little sweaty here.
They're sticking with it as well. They're not giving this one up.
Oh God. Stacking, boosting on Overpass against Fnatic. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm scared. And Kenny S has to be ready, has to be still. MBK gets pushed aside. He's almost welcoming that. Yeah, come on, guys, just go towards B. It's fine. It's a good place to be. It's a nice bomb site. I mean, it's got a lot going on, but no! He just came off the boost. He's gone back up. Oh my God, this could be everything. The flash is decent. He gets one, but the information is there. The calls can be made, but the pressure from Monster is already building, so they're locked off from this.
That's almost great for Fnatic. They now know where 3 players are. They have them locked in. They can just take these fights in the open. It's Lekro again. The 4 kills of the Deagle earlier, and he's going to seal this map. He's going to seal this series for Fnatic. Brilliant stuff from Lekro down the stretch of Fnatic. And they close it out in spectacular fashion.
Wow. The back of what happened from that Deagle play coming in from him and then that sort of closer. What a sick game. Well, it does seem as though that's enough from us here. That has been a great performance. I'm going to go watch that FaZe game. I'm not going to lie to you. But anyway, off to the analysis desk. Let's see what they had to say about that matchup.
Yes, off to the analyst desk and off to the races for the Greyhounds. They're into the second map of Deed. Could very well close it out and could cause an incredible upset into that lower bracket round 3. The guys in the caster desk were keeping you up to date, and indeed that is going down on the B stream. But we have seen G2 thrust into the lower bracket as well. The doldrums of the bracket still alive, but they'll be playing versus NRG to keep their head in the water.
Alex,
head in the water.
As someone who's with me a lot of the time of my life, can I run a scenario by you?
The by you? Yeah.
Yeah, so right, you've done a triple stack to get an early kill on water control.
Yeah.
About 30 seconds have gone by, and you haven't got that kill.
Yeah.
Now, as the round slowly continues, there is a chance that they could push through Monster onto the bomb site.
50% chance, I suppose.
3 players could potentially be locked in graffiti and then bombarded with utility in the last round to potentially take overtime.
No.
True.
At what point do you think you should probably move out of that stack?
Probably the point where I haven't seen anything for 30 seconds.
Damn straight. And that is what should have been called there on the last round, because what we just saw to win the game was Lekro destroying them.
Well, I mean, that was what was so crazy. When you watched Mixwell do, he did pull the little 180 and did eventually die. I just said Mixwell because he was on the screen. Crims, he turned around from short.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get bullets shot at you from that location, you know where 3 of the CTs are.
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
And
like,
you're not even getting paid to play this game, Alex.
I know, look at me. Look at me. And
you just did the analysis for us, thank you.
And did you see how they reacted as well? Immediately, as soon as they get that information, spraying on the wooden panel, at the very least, if you want to get onto site and set up, you're taking damage.
Yeah.
You're already going to get swung out wide from short. It's a terrifying scenario. So are we all just going to shake our head at that, or was there thought behind the madness?
Well, I don't know about Ian, but I think the stack initially is a good idea, because you could catch them off guard taking water control. They're not going to expect it early. But as soon as that time dissipated, get the hell out of there, boys.
Even if it is a good idea at that point, anything could be happening, and there's a lot of this happening lately where there's just the fear of the unknown doesn't seem to be there for some of these players. They're just like, take it for granted, like, oh yeah, no one's walking into the site because everyone throws utility before they walk in. But then not seeing anyone for that whole time, you've got to start getting some sort of spider senses or something. Yeah. But like Chad said, that the utility comes in, there's nothing they could do after that point. They're stuck in graffiti. A lot of the rounds, though, were just Fnatic being champions that they once were, grinding it out.
Lekro with the Deagle.
Lekro with the Deagle.
I have to,
unbelievable.
That's 2 rounds. The caster said it themselves. That is 2 rounds which he single-handedly brought home for Fnatic, and important ones at that.
It just looked like G2 was actually going to steal this map away from them for quite a while.
Here it is. This is what we're talking about. Just the first frag, and look at Golden immediately.
Okay, so what do you do here? 3 people straight out Monster. Bomb starts planning, no fear. No smokes used because they know 3 people are in here.
Lekro doing that though, that's something else, right?
Look,
like,
yeah. We've all
thanks
been
for
on the
playing.
receiving end of a Lekro-style aim attack. For me, it was Rain. You just feel powerless.
That's horrible.
The whole game wasn't on that one decision,
No,
and like
no.
I said, I actually think the stack early was a great idea. You know, a bit of a change from G2 just going in and trying to play heads-up Counter-Strike. It was nice. It was a good change. Just overstaying their welcome. And then you look at the rest of the game, Kenny S, he was doing pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it works out, and we praise them as geniuses, and we go into overtime and G2 win. Like, I mean, this is, you know, one reality
Ifs
we're
and
living
buts.
in.
Oh,
but
right.
as we do take a look
I was
at the
gonna say, what the
statistics, G2 versus Fnatic over the series, you can see just how well of a performance Apex managed to turn his game around. Bearing in mind, he had a bad map, right,
Yeah.
Sniper? I'm pretty sure he had a poor Mirage.
The one in the middle there,
Yeah,
it
that
was
was Mirage, yeah.
tremendously bad. But yeah, he definitely
top.
turned it around. For me, Mixwell.
That is important, actually, because we've been criticizing him lately.
Well, I mean, there's no real reason to. For me, it was Body that I thought had very little impact, or even got found just quite often on his own, and didn't do enough damage. And Kenny S, obviously, like you were saying, Alex, just with the impact he had with that AWP, and some of the clutch rounds, obviously, with JW. I mean, wow, that first half, just the AWP shot there and the runaway, it was really good.
Yeah, demonstrative of just how powerful they can be. Fnatic do manage to get themselves in quite a sticky situation, though they are in the upper bracket. They will be meeting Astralis, probably the scariest team to find yourself up against.
But right now, Fnatic and Astralis both guaranteed the arena with Tyloo and Renegade. So they're the 4 teams so far after 2 days who are 100% going to be in the arena come Friday, at least. And then we're going to find out tomorrow who's going to be through to those semis.
Yeah, so we have Renegade's Tyloo, that's just that. So I'm just going to break it down.
The Asian miner, we'll just call that.
Let's talk about that in a moment, because I want to get this play faster moment out there in the open. It is, of course, brought to you by Vodafone. Let's take a closer look at which one has been selected from this series. A full 3 maps. It was way back at the very start. Indeed, it was Lekro 1v2 on Dust 2. It's good to see it back in the map pool. 3 in total. You can see just how quickly they melted. 1, 2, and he teaches us how to count a third onto NBK.
We need Blue for that normally, the count himself.
Yeah.
But
look at that.
Yeah, you love that third one. The first 2, that's another one of the situations where if G2 just played the post plant from Cat, they would have won that round.
Yes.
But they still won Dust 2 in the scheme of things. And thank you, G2, for showing us it for the first time today.
Yeah, the absence of restraint can certainly be punished when you've got an aimer like Lekro. I mean, I think this series is testament to that, right, Sniper? I mean, this has been a little bit of a masterclass from some of the Fnatic members.
Yeah, well, a masterclass in coming back, if anything. Obviously, Dust 2, I thought myself personally, like, this is a Fnatic map. You know, they've won so many big tournaments on this map. They surely should be somewhat comfortable with some of the members.
Yeah.
But then really it was the other 2 maps, and especially this Overpass grind. And that's when you see real champions.
We do have 4 teams locked in now for the arena, the Qudos Bank Arena. We can take a look at the bracket so you at home can understand exactly how it happened and how these particular teams are already locked in for the stadium. Check that one out. Renegades and Tyloo. Let me remind you who else was in that bracket. Cloud9, SK Gaming, FaZe Clan. Let me just repeat it. Renegades and Tyloo will be in the stadium.
Insanity, isn't it?
It's mad. And you know what? We weren't far away from saying Order were going to be battling to get themselves in the stadium as well. I'm sorry, Sniper. I know. But I mean, you can quickly fill them in. If they didn't catch that series, what did they miss?
Well, they missed a nail biter where Order were on match point. They're up 4 players to 1. Rush gets the bomb down and wins the 1v4. And it was just an absolute travesty from there on. The overtime comes in, and it looked very easy for Cloud9 at that point.
Players at their level that don't experience this type of Counter-Strike all the time, I imagine that's not on a scenario you're equipped for dealing with. And that amount of pressure, those opponents, you could lose a 1v4. I mean, you probably haven't ever experienced that.
Throughout that matchup, if you were watching the reactions of the Order guys, you could see them getting emotional as that game was coming to its close, whereas the Cloud9 guys stayed more calm and collected because they've been in that situation time and time again. You have to think 4 of those members were in the grand final on Inferno, where they won the major against FaZe. They've been there, they've done that, and they've done it on the biggest stage with the biggest title in CS history. So for them, it's kind of just another day in the office. But when you look at that for Order, the crumble was clear. But if you are an Australian Counter-Strike fan, Order taking the first map against FaZe on Mirage.
Oh, sorry, Greyhound, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Order on the mind.
Yeah.
That's okay. But
It's a long
the
day.
problem is also Order can't just brush it off and be like, oh, it's okay, we're in the next tournament, guys, we'll get them then.
Sure.
It's going to be a
It's
long
their
time
Super Bowl,
before
yeah.
drinks for them, you know. So you got to feel bad for them there. They're going to have to learn from that. I think they've been in a similar situation before, actually, where they had a huge lead and crumbled. So just another stepping stone for them.
And I will be the one that, you know, the silver lining for you. Not only are Greyhound doing well, not only do Order do great, but also that's a huge improvement from what we saw previously from Order. Their first international debut for us, for a lot of us,
16-3.
was a 16-3 stomping versus FaZe Clan.
Nico with the 1-taps.
Yes. Oh, God, never forget. That was filthiest round of Counter-Strike I've ever seen. But yeah, let's take a look at Group B here in the brackets. You can see the teams locked in. This one makes a little more sense as Astralis and Fnatic do get themselves that finish in the stadium. They'll be battling now for that semi-final spot.
Hopefully, well, look, from the things we've seen thus far, G2 put up a decent performance just then. Mousesports kind of, I don't want to say it was a drubbing. Obviously, the second map of Nuke may have been a mispick, but I would hope that we can see a better form from Mousesports tomorrow as they do go up against MVP. They get, I guess they get a step in the right direction. It shouldn't, I guess it's been tournament upsets. What am I saying? Anything's possible, Alex.
I'll rule out MVP for you. I've seen a lot of this, yes, and I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, hopefully Oscar wakes up as well, gets a good 8 hours, and we can see the Oscar that we know and love.
What was that Oscar today?
Absent. 0 and 10 on Nuke, which we know is a map he's actually found great footing on.
With shotgun.
You can definitely use the shotgun on Nuke. I mean, come on.
Get the alligator on that squeaky door and just hold down left click. You can hold it down. Did you know that? You don't have to press it.
Because it's an auto shotty.
That's an auto surely. Anyway, I love my analysts and I love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It's been another great day. Day 2 in the books for IEM Sydney, at least here on the A stream. Head over now, type in that B, hit enter, say goodbye to us, and go watch Greyhound Gaming battle to get in front of a Sydney crowd. It's going to be quite the turbulent journey as they face against FaZe Clan with a 1-0 lead. That's all going down, and it's all coming back up tomorrow as well. More games to look forward to. We'll see you then.